Now choose milk cotton from 5 grains and 3 points. 5mm crochet. First lock the edge and start the needle. Crocheted from the bottom of the bag. And when we're done, we do 30 braid needles. After the chain is complete, we return to the penultimate stitch. Pick a thread from Satorama on the back of the lock needle. Crochet a short needle here. Do the same on the next lock pin. Crochet a short needle. Repeat the operation later. Knit a short needle for each lock needle. A total of 29 short needles were crocheted. End of first row. The second row first locks a needle that flips. Pick the entire top stitch on the first short needle. Crochet a short needle here. Weave a long needle over the second stitch. 4-pin popcorn needle. First knit 4 long needles in the same position. For stitches end, we take the crochet off, then return the first long needle. Pick up the hole by inserting a needle into the back of the fabric. The needle then hooks onto the original coil. Hook the wire out. Complete a popcorn needle like this. Weave a short needle over the third stitch. On the fourth needle, also knit a popcorn needle. First knit 4 long needles in the same position. For stitches end, we take the crochet off by the back of the fabric. Through the mesh of the first long needle, hook out the front coil at one time. Finish a popcorn needle. Repeat the operation later. We follow a short needle. The order of a popcorn needle loops in total. 14 sets of patterns. After the 14th set of patterns is completed, weave a short needle on the last stitch. The third row first locks a needle that flips. Corresponding to the number of needles in the second row, knit a short needle in each stitch. A total of 29 short needles were crocheted. Third row ends. The fourth row locks a needle flipped first. Weave a short needle over the first stitch. Knit a popcorn needle over the second stitch. Same as the second row. Follow a short needle. Sequential loop of a popcorn needle. 14 sets of patterns. After the 14th set of patterns is completed, weave a short needle on the last stitch. Row 5 continues to lock a needle flipped. The following part will not be repeated in the order of the previous rows. Just tick all the way to row 13. End of row 13. This completes the bottom part of the package. So here we are crocheting the bag. No need to disconnect later. First lock a needle that flips. Same as the previous hook method. First follow a short needle. When the sequence of a popcorn needle loops, 4 sets of patterns. After the 14th set of patterns is completed, weave a short needle on the last stitch. Turn to the side of the branch. In the gap on the side of the first row, knit a popcorn needle. After the first set of patterns is completed, weave another 5 sets of patterns in the remaining positions on the sides. We are on the side of the branch, A total of 6 sets of patterns were crocheted. After the first half is completed, repeat the second half of the operation. Crochet 14 patterns at the bottom edge. Crochet 6 patterns on the other side. In the first circle, a total of 40 sets of patterns were crocheted. After the 40th set of patterns is completed, on the first short needle at the beginning, knit a pull needle. The second circle first locks a needle that flips, corresponding to the number of stitches in the first lap. Knit a short needle in each stitch. A total of 80 short needles were crocheted. End of lap 2. Finally, on the first short needle, knit a pull needle. The third circle first locks a needle that flips. Weave a short needle over the first stitch. Knit a popcorn needle over the second stitch, same as the hook method on the first lap. In the order of a short needle and a popcorn needle, loop 40 sets of patterns. The following part is no longer redundant. The number of stitches does not change. In the order of a circle of short needles and a circle of popcorn needles, just hook the 20th lap. End of lap 20. This completes the body part, and then we crochet the handle. In the middle of the last lap of the bag, 17 needles are emptied. 23 needle holes are left at each end of the fabric. Mark the position with a mark. Start knitting at the first needle on the back of the fabric. Restart on the wood. Hook the line. Then weave a lock needle. Weave a short needle over the first stitch. Knit a popcorn needle over the second stitch. We follow a short needle. The sequence of a popcorn needle cycles through 11 sets of patterns. After the 11th set of patterns is completed, and then 22 braid needles. Skip the middle 17 stitches when the chain is done. Continue normal knitting at the other end. Also follow a short needle. The order of a popcorn needle. Loop 11 sets of patterns. After the 11th set of patterns is completed, 22 more braid needles in the back. After the chain is completed, on the first short needle at the beginning, knit a pull needle. The second circle first locks a needle that flips. Knit 32 short needles in the hollow of the chain. Pin 32 ends. Knit 23 short needles in the back stitch. The second half is woven in the same way. End of lap 2. The third circle first locks a needle that flips. We follow a short needle. The order of a popcorn needle. Loop 11 sets of patterns. After the 11th set of patterns is completed, in the middle handle position, also knit 32 short needles. Pin 32 ends. The second half is woven in the same way. End of lap 3. The fourth lap first locks a needle that flips, corresponding to the number of stitches in the third lap. Weave a lead needle on each thread. Ring weaving. Just try it out. End of fourth lap. This completes the main body of the entire bag. And then we're going to crochet the handle, the piece. First lock the edge and start the needle. Then knit 10 lock needles. End of our hand return to. Count the second stitch. Pick a thread from the back of the needle. Crochet 9 short needles in sequence. End of first row. The second row first locks and needle flipped corresponds to the head of the first row. Also knit 9 short needles. Repeat the operation for the latter part. Just tick until row 28. After the branching part is completed, next we pin it to the handle position. After the handle part is completed, we make a tassel decoration to the main body. You can choose your favorite hot pendant, decorate, and then we crochet the straps. The straps are crocheted using double threads. First lock the edge and start the needle. Then knit for lock pins. Then return to the first lock pin. Pick a thread for the first half of the needle. Knit a short needle. Also pick the front half needle on the second lock needle. Knit a short needle. The third needle continues to pick the first half needle. Knit a short needle. The fourth needle is also picked for the first half needle. Knit a short needle. Repeat the operation later. Pick a thread on the outside of the fabric. Circulating knitted short needles. Just hook it to the required length. After the strap part is completed, we prepare to open rings. Secure it to the webbing. After the strap is made, we mount it on the main body. Now, our cube cream packet is done. The size is just right. It can hold mobile phones and some small belongings. The content of this issue.